Welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. We're going to go on another search today looking for some beautiful places. The beautiful place that we're still at is at the Sawtooth Mountains in Stanley, Idaho. And we are camped along the Salmon River at the Sunny Gulch Campground. We are set up in a half-dome tent, a one tigress tent, and we were just taking in the scenery. There's been a little bit of rain, but we got mostly wet when we went whitewater rafting. We got rescued too. We're having a great time. Sunny Gulch is a developed front country campground, and the sunsets and sunrises aren't that great, but it's a beautiful place. We are going to start another big day today. Of course, we're going to start it with coffee and a little bit of scenery. If you're wondering what you can see from this developed campground, it's not bad. The evergreens actually provide some nice framing for the backdrop of the Sawtooth Ridge. It cuts right through this area of Idaho. Well, yesterday was a huge day, and we were hungry last night, and we're still hungry this morning. So I'm going to make Sam a big breakfast of eggs and the little Smoky Joes that are left over from way back there at Kurt Gowdy State Park. That is one of the strengths of bringing a good fridge. I'm cooking on a collapsible carbon steel skillet. I wanted to try this because, hey, it's lighter. It packs lighter, and I just don't have the space to pack it in the Subaru. So this probably helped us not to sag even further in the back.
Good. All yours. Don't die.
We have a nostalgic plan today. We've been riding horses on some of our Western adventures since 2016, and there's no reason to change that today. With Wild West Horse Adventures, there's lots of different options for a ride, and we chose that ridgetop ride. We wanted some good scenery. I am testing the beeps of my GoPro to make sure it doesn't spook my horse. We're going to take a ride up into the hills on the east side of the Salmon River that overlooks the Sawtooth Mountains. We're going to catch some beautiful views. You know my channel is not monetized, and I do not endorse and I do not sponsor, but I am going to use the term highly recommend. I just want to say that I highly recommend Wild West Horse Adventures. Matt and Shelby were some of the best wranglers that we have ever dealt with on our adventures out into the West. They were very kind. They were very friendly. We just had a little community of horses and people out riding in the wilderness, and we had a really good time.
Good job, Bingo.
Matt and Shelby were understanding of our abilities and worked with us right where we were at. We didn't feel shame because we weren't some Oklahoma horse people, because we're not. They did a great job. They made us feel great, and we had a really good time getting up to the top of this ridge. By the way, my horse's name is Bingo, and he was supposed to be a little more ornery, but he sure was pleasant today.
Good boy. Good job, Bingo. Good job.
This was early season, and it was one of Bingo's first rides up this big hill. He was a little bit out of shape, but we were patient with each other and we got there.
Good boy. Thanks, Bingo. You listened.
He says, oh yeah, I gotta be a good customer service.
Yeah, I just swept him right a little bit and he took it. That's my only good knee, Bingo, so thank you very much.
Oh, gosh.
Are the horseshoes your kind of guide through the area?
Yes. Come on. He goes, that's the shortcut. Wait a minute. Yeah, so with our horseshoes, depending on like rider ability for like the 2 hour and 1 hour, we'll keep, we might turn off a little sooner if it's too steep of a climb, if the clients aren't capable of going up. If we have like a 6 and 8 year old,
I got you.
we kind of gotta tailor the rides to the rider's ability. And it honestly, I feel like it works better in that way because we want people to enjoy the rides and have a good time and not be like terrified and stressed out.
When we did that one in the Flathead, we were on our horses for eight hours, and we got done, and I was like feeling great. I was like, oh, my back feels so good. And they're looking at me like, what is wrong with you, dude? We were just on a horse for 8 hours.
Yeah, not very many people come back saying that.
Our guides were exhausted. I remember our kids, like, they were looking at me, Dad, you're crazy. Why did you book that for 8 hours? I'm like, what are you talking about? So how long have you come out here?
With our own business, OnX Offroad, this is our second summer.
Gotcha.
Yep. But it's kind of a full circle for me. I started guiding here in 2016 with Mystic Saddle Ranch.
Okay.
And then I met my husband here in 2019. Oh yeah. And it gets better when we get to the top of that ridge. But you'll notice you can kind of see some brown trees. That's a fire scar from last summer at the Bench Lakes fire.
We got to the top of the ridge and rested just a little bit in the shade, tied up the horses, and then just took a short hike up to the high point of the ridge. The scenery was majestic.
Eric, I'll have you pull back on Bingo right about there. I don't want you to get high line or close line.
I think Bingo was the favorite horse I've ever ridden on. We made a good connection. We switched order going back down the hill, and Bingo didn't like being in last. He finally adjusted.
Good. Good job.
Eventually, Bingo gave back into his orneriness, and he tried to make his way up in the pack until he was way up front again.
Okay, well that's cool.
I don't do this very often, but I am going to put a link to Wild West Horse Adventures in the description below. They run a stable outside of Phoenix, Arizona in the winter, and then from June through September run the stables up here outside of Stanley, Idaho. Again, I'd highly recommend them.
Smack them or whatever, set them straight. I don't know. I haven't really figured that out too much.
Well, sadly, our ride had to end. We got back to the stables, and Sam and I had our picture taken on our horses, and then we headed back to our campsite. We weren't really physically tired from our ride, but I think we were getting tired from not sleeping in our own beds at home, and I think maybe the 2 weeks was a little too long. Trailhead, and we're headed up to the Norton Lakes. This hike is where our fatigue really began to show. We actually walked right by the trailhead to the Norton Lakes. That's right off to the right after this bridge. And we just proceeded straight out into the National Forest on the Norton Creek Prairie Creek Trail. We never got to the Norton Lakes. We did get a nice alpine hike, so come along. At this point, Sam was pretty tired and he was way behind me. We both had our bear spray and we felt pretty safe because mostly in this area, it's black bears and they're pretty timid. So we both kind of went at our own pace up the mountain and took in the scree slides coming down the mountain, the green pasture type hillside, the beautiful sound of the creek, and we were just getting up to the edge of the tree line. I imagine the Norton Lakes would have been pretty, but this was pretty too. One thing that we were repeating all week long was early spring allergies, and you can hear my cough in the background occasionally because this area of Idaho is in early spring. In Oklahoma, where we were at, we were already in the summer season.
You're getting close to the tree line here. Trees are sparse and disappearing. Well, maybe you don't call that a tree line, maybe you call it a species line. Certain species don't grow above there, and they don't grow very well.
So I'll try to show you on this map where we were supposed to go to the northwest up to the Norton Lakes. We didn't get there. Instead, we had walked straight on by this little trail there, and we proceeded almost directly to the west and the south. I discovered this when we got to the end where I'm at, and it said 3 miles to Norton Lake. So down the hill I went to inform Sam, who was way back behind me, that we missed the trail. We probably put in about a 7-mile hike, and we enjoyed the snow and the smooth trail. I probably should have noticed something was not right when I saw these electric bicycle tracks, but I didn't catch on. Hey, come back next time. We're going to head out of the Stanley, Idaho area and back over to the Wind River area in Wyoming, and we're going to take in a river that goes straight into the side of a mountain. Come back.